Welcome to another CBA Level 3 Grille coaching session. This session continues on from spreading of the water leaf. The first job when we create this leaf is to create a channel. And while this sounds easy, this move sets the stage for the remainder of the leaf. If you get a twist here and you don't correct for it, you run the risk of seeing that twist when you've finished the completed leaf. I start at the widest point and I make a slight channel. And then I move straight away to the base of the leaf and do the same thing. And then I join both bits together. Try and keep the heat out of the parent bar as you work. You don't want the heat traveling along the parent bar. The bottom half of the leaf is straight, in line with the parent bar stock. The parent bar stock is thick and is therefore strong. The channel, with its sides, is therefore also strong. The transition point between the two is neither thick nor channeled and is therefore the weakest part of this whole assembly. And when you work raising this leaf, it's going to want to bend right there at the transition point. Keep the heat out of the transition point. Heat just the tip of the leaf. Hold your hammer at a slight angle and brush the tip of the leaf as you feed the stock out past the leafing stake. Drop your tong hand slowly as you work, and you might need to do this, cycle through this. Make sure that when you drop your tong hand that you keep the stock perpendicular to the stake. If you end up pulling your hand towards you or away from you, sometimes to clear the pin or the box in the vise, you're going to form a twist in your leaf. Most of the curve is in the top 1/3 to 1/2 of the leaf, so take your time and get that bit right. The lower 1/2 remains in line with the parent bar. Take another heat, again containing the heat to the upper section of the leaf, or more importantly keeping it out of the transition area. And so in raising the leaf you are stretching the outside edges of the leaf. If you don't have a good heat on the outside edge, the material is not going to move. But then it's the same thing. Brush with the hammer, drop with your tong hand, making sure that your tong hand keeps the material perpendicular to the leafing stake. And you continue with this movement, brushing the stock, dropping your hand and keeping the heat controlled as you work. I sometimes find it easier to work from underneath the leafing stake. That's why I make it the way I do. And the aim is to keep the curl to the top half of the leaf, around 270 degrees. And at 270 degrees, this is more than the drawing calls for at this stage. These are the 4 leaves on the end of my blown over bevel leaf scrolls, and I've just arranged them so you can see the front, back, side and a quarter view. You'll note here 2 leaves, one the plain just raised leaf and then one with it crimped, and the one crimped uses up edge material in the crimping process. So that's why you over curled your leaf initially to compensate for this uncurling of the leaf during the crimping process. Let's have a look at the crimping process. Crimping has 2 positions, tongue arm bent and tongue arm straight. Keep the body quiet. If you find yourself tied up in knots, it's time to reposition yourself. You're either going to keep your arm bent, as in the left, and you can see my little drawing there of the smith from a planner course, and then on the right you can see me extending my arm. Those are your only 2 positions. If you're anything other than that, it's time to rethink. The crimps run at an angle along the leaf. They're not perpendicular to the center line of the leaf. Ultimately, the crimps are going to be matched from one side of the leaf to the other. You're going to work from the inside of the leaf going out and from the outside of the leaf going in. And you'll note from the right hand picture the reason for the offset in the crimping stake. It gives you room for the other side of the leaf to hang freely without hitting the crimping stake. Work up the crimps too close to the tip. You don't have to include the tip. The tip can be turned towards the front of the grill with a pair of scrolling tongs or working on the bit a little later. The leaf and scroll are going to be welded together and then further welded to the upset corner bar. What we need to do is match at the base of the leaf to the marks, your original marks, on the edge of your anvil, and then center punch the rear of the bar. You're going to nick the bar with your hot cut or your hardy cut off, whichever, and then fold the bar in two. Close the two sections together and then weld them shut. Priority here is given to welding at the point at the base of the leaf. The area around the nick and fold will be further welded later, so it's not quite as crucial. Got to get the weld at the base of the leaf. Leave enough material, as if you'd set the end ready to make a scarf for a forge weld, and dress any growth in width. So leave material at the tip and then dress everything else. Chamfer the end in preparation for forging the scarf on the end. We want the flat scroll material on the bottom as you go into the weld of the leaf scroll assembly onto the upset corner bar. This keeps that leaf scroll assembly stable and prevents damage to the leaf by the offside edge of the anvil. Knowing this gives us the orientation of the welding scarf. Keep the toe of the scarf thin, and that's going to aid in blending the weld into the upset corner bar. This marks the end of this particular coaching session. I'll see you in the next one.